Oh yeah. Okay, yesterday we made bread for soup. Today we're going to make a sandwich bread. So we're after a soft white bread. Slices nice, makes a simple sandwich. Nothing ultra healthy or anything like that, just a simple white loaf for sandwiches. Perfect for a crisp patty. So we've got 400 grams of strong white flour, 260 grams of warm water, about 50 grams of melted butter, good teaspoon of powdered milk. Now I'm using Nido, which you can get up at Tesco's. Get any of the powdered milks, but this one's quite rich, it's nice. About a packet of yeast. I don't have packets, so I'll just throw some in. A good 2 teaspoons of salt, but don't put the salt on the yeast. Try and keep it the other side. I know it's going to mix, but you don't want it touching too soon. Okay, so a good bit of salt. Nice bit of that. And then finally, find it, some sugar. A good tablespoon of sugar as well. Gives it that little tang of sweetness and helps the yeast do its job. That's instant yeast, by the way. It doesn't need any help, but always buy the quick acting or instant yeast. So we're going to get a hand in, we're going to mix it, and then we're going to knead it for a good 10 minutes. Okay, let's come together. So we're going to just lightly flour the board. When you do knead, you can do it on any surface, but wood is really good. It kind of grips the dough. So just pop it out on there. And the same as the bread we made yesterday for the rolls, give it a good knead for 10 minutes. Okay, this is now nice and elasticy and pliable. If you notice, unlike the other one that was quite stiff, this is a very soft, malleable dough. It's going to make a nice soft loaf. So that's a good 10 minutes kneading. You can see how nice the finish to that is. So all we do now, pop it in a bowl, cover it in a moist cloth, and then let it double in size. See you in a bit. Okay, so that's doubled in size now, so we'll take it out. It's nice and soft. We're just going to knock a bit of air out of it. Bring it back to a usable dough. Now, we're baking this in a loaf tin because we want a sandwich loaf. So we're going to be using that. So we want to shape it. So all I tend to do is just take my hand and pinch it under like that. And as you do, it will get longer and form the basic shape. And give it a little roll. We're just going to pop it in to our loaf tin. We'll cover that in a damp tea towel and then wait until it doubles its size. We want it up to about here before we cook. Well, you can't see that. Up to about there before we cook it. So a good sort of 2 inches above the tin. Should take about 40 minutes, we'll see. Well, here we go. You can see it's got about 2 inches growth at the top. It's more than doubled in size. So I've got the oven set at 200 degrees and I've got a little bit of steam going on in there. My oven has a steam setting, but if you don't, just put a nice heavy pot or an oven-proof dish at the bottom of the oven, get it really hot. Just before you put the bread in the oven, boil a kettle or a pan, whatever, and throw it into the pot or tray in the oven. That will create a bit of steam and it will allow the bread to sort of rise up easier. So before we put it in, as I say, we've got 200 degrees. I'm going to make 3 cuts in the top, just like that, to allow the bread to open up. Now that's going into the oven, 200 degrees. I'll tell you how long it's in there once it comes out, because it's always different. Now that's it out of the oven. It's been about 40 minutes, and you might not be able to hear this, but you can hear it kind of sounds a little bit hollow. To me, that says it's cooked. So what we do is to check it really is cooked. Burn your fingers and turn it up. Then we need to tap the bottom, and you hear it's like a bass drum. So there you have it. That's your loaf. Now, despite how it smells and all the rest of it, you've got to let that cool before you try it. Make a sandwich. I know it smells great and you want to eat it, but you have to let it cool, because all the proteins in it are all still active in there. They need to calm down to become nice again. And also you'll never be able to butter it if it's warm. So let it fully cool. So that was, say, 15 minutes to knead the bread, maybe 40 minutes to let it rise the first time. Shape it, another 40 minutes, say, to let it rise to double its size, and then about 40 minutes in the oven. Don't forget to add that little bit of steam to get the nice rise on it. Do try it, because once you've tried making your own bread and you've eaten it, you're just not going to want to go and buy the ones in the supermarket. These loaves, if you get a good price on your flour, these loaves will set you back about 30 pence. I don't know what they charge in the supermarket. I never buy it, but I'm sure it's going to be closer to £1 or something. But it's not about saving money. It's about flavour and control over what goes into your food. This one's got butter in it, so it's going to have a nice buttery, you can smell it now, a buttery flavour. But, you know, mess with the bread. Try different things, put seeds in it. Try different fats. You know, you could use an olive oil, or make a lean dough, no oil or butter at all in it, and you'll get a different result. The measurements I've given are for the flour that I use. All flours absorb a different amount of moisture. So, you know, just play with it. But I'm going to show you another 2 types of bread as well on different videos. Once you've learnt them, just mess around, try different flavours. You know, we've all seen Bake Off and that. You get the picture. Okay, so do give it a try. You will love it, and you'll never go back to supermarkets. Cheers.